What's going on, guys? It's Cheesy and welcome back to another Sunday breakdown. I hope you all are doing well. Today we're going to be taking a look at the French Grand Prix. It's been a little bit. In fact, I think it's been a while since I've uploaded. Almost a whole month has passed since my past upload, so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things. We're going to have a Sunday breakdown rolling out hopefully every day until we get caught up here, and the daily content should be coming back, or at least try to get it 4 or 5 times in the week so you guys can enjoy the content. But if you guys do enjoy, leave a like on the video, consider subscribing, and without any further ado, let's get into the French Grand Prix. So the French Grand Prix has fallen upon us in June 18th of this year. So that's a while back, and trying to recall my memory because I remember watching it, but I don't really, it's not vivid, but I have my notes here, so we'll get through it, and I'll catch you guys up if you haven't seen it. Starting though with the Friday, you gotta go to Friday free practice, and that's what we'll be starting here. Valtteri Bottas gets the fastest lap with a 133.448. We'll see that quickly broken as pole time was a 129.990. Won't let you guys in on who that was quite yet, but you guys will find out very soon. Lewis Hamilton coming in second place. Max Verstappen following closely behind, only a 10th behind. Sergio Perez keeping up with his new teammate Esteban Ocon, doing very well for himself. In fact, I was quite surprised to see him this far up, but it is only free practice. But it's nice to see that he's putting on a show, as he is a Frenchman himself. Him and Pierre Gasly, both within the top 10, I believe, as the check the race result here. And no, Esteban Ocon was outside the top 10, but Pierre Gasly had a nice performance there as well. He stays in the 8, 9, 10, 5, 6 area. So he's keeping it within the top 10, and he's doing pretty well for himself. Lando Norris in 9th place, Yuki Tsunoda in 10th place, Charles Leclerc for the Ferrari outside the top 10. In 11th place, Antonio Giovinazzi, 12th place, Kimi Räikkönen, 13th, Lance Stroll, 14th, Sebastian Vettel, 15th, Carlos Sainz, 16th, Nicholas Latifi, 17th, Nikita Mazepin, 18th, Mick Schumacher, 19th, and Roy Nissany, 20th. Roy was able to step in for George Russell and have some time in the car, which was nice to see. He did run a 137.881, which was almost a second and a half slower than Mick Schumacher, I believe. No, that's not true. That's cap. It was only 5/10 slower, so not horrible coming from F2 and just jumping in there. But we see going on later in the day, in the afternoon, now Max Verstappen sets a 132.8. I believe that is 1 whole second faster than the lap previously set. So getting comfortable with this track. We do see that tires do wear a significant amount. You can struggle, and I think the runners that had a little bit more laps were able to think about that. George Russell did hop in the car though for free practice 2, finishing 17th. We do see some guys move down. Sergio Perez in 12th here. Not that it makes a huge difference, but also Charles Leclerc jumps up. Fernando Alonso jumps up to 4th. And then we have the usual on the 3, Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Lewis Hamilton. Running through the order here though, 1 through 20. We're changing it up here a little bit. Max Verstappen, Valtteri Bottas, Hamilton, Alonso, Leclerc, Ocon, Gasly, Sainz, Räikkönen, Norris, Giovinazzi, Perez, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Vettel, Stroll, Russell, Latifi, Schumacher, Mazepin. We do see the 2 Frenchmen right side by side, 6, 7, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, as respectively said there. But moving on to Saturday here, very different days. Saturday here, we go into the free practice right before our qualifying. Going here, you see some pace set by Max Verstappen, setting the time to beat of the 131.30. Valtteri Bottas falling behind with the 132.04. Carlos Sainz following in his Ferrari with the 132.195. Very nice. Sergio Perez keeping up there, and Lewis Hamilton in 5th place, very far back that we usually see him. A little bit disappointing from him, and we'll see that he isn't quite able to get grips at this French Grand Prix, as we'll see going down though. Norris, Fernando Alonso, Esteban Ocon, very nice. Pierre Gasly, right side by side. Think they might be friends or something. Ricciardo, Leclerc, Giovinazzi, Stroll, Vettel, Raikkonen, Russell, Tsunoda, Latifi, Schumacher, and Mazepin. Now we'll be moving on to qualifying here. The Q1, Q2, Q3. We'll be moving down though. Unfortunately, Lance Stroll and Yuki Tsunoda were not able to set a time within Q1 because their laps were, I believe, kicked out. They ran outside the boundaries and weren't able to set proper times, so they went 20th for Tsunoda and 19th for Stroll. Nikita Mazepin, though, setting a 133.5, significantly behind Kimi by 0.2. Kimi in 17th, Latifi in 16th, and Mick Schumacher in 15th. We do see George Russell get out of Q2 very nicely, or Q1 very nicely. Don't get your hopes up. He didn't make it out of Q2. A little bit of an error there, but yes, he was able to get out of Q1 very nice from him. In fact, Mick Schumacher was pretty close himself. I believe he was only a couple tenths behind, if I'm right. Just a couple tenths behind, and he was going to get in. But we see in Q2, the runners are George Russell in 14th, Giovinazzi 13th, Vettel in 12th, Ocon falling behind though in 11th with the 131.736. So the usual guys that make it into the top 10 made it in. Unfortunately, Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel were kicked out. You don't always see the Ferraris or the McLarens in there, but it's nice to see them well in the mix. Going on to the top 10 shootout now, though, Ricciardo finishes 10th in that qualifying match with the 131.382. Very close, only 400ths behind Fernando Alonso in the 9th place spot. His teammate Lando Norris filing it in the 8th place. Charles Leclerc in 7th, Pierre Gasly in 6th. Very nice from him. Great qualifying. In fact, considering his teammate DNF'd for qualifying, yeah, very nice. Carlos Sainz, not Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz in 5th, Sergio Perez in 4th, Valtteri Bottas in 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 2nd as Max Verstappen, setting a 1:2.9990. 29 seconds, 9 tenths, 9 hundredths, 0 thousandths. Very nice lap from him. I actually was quite intrigued with his lap because you see these guys push the way they do, and it is quite interesting. I don't think I could have the skill to drive at that level, but it is very intriguing to watch them race. Speaking of the race, we should get on to that now. So moving on, we do see an undercut strategy work very well for these guys here. We see Sergio Perez do it very nicely. Max Verstappen regain the lead. We'll talk about that a little bit later. And Danny Ricciardo, my favorite guy, in 6th place, finishing his race very nicely from him. And we'll talk about the undercut strategy there. So starting the race here, it was a little bit of a scrappy start for Max Verstappen. He was about to spin. He saved himself. He had to go on the side of the bollards and come back into the race safely. He conceded that position to Lewis Hamilton, and it wasn't until his first pit stop that he got it back. He tried the undercut strategy on Lewis Hamilton, and I gotta say it was very close. It was wheel-to-wheel racing. If you watch this weekend's race, I'm talking about the British Grand Prix, as it is very far after I'm recording this, after the French Grand Prix. But it wasn't that close, but it was significantly close if you think about racing spec. So it was close, but he was outbraked into turn 1 and wasn't able to get that place, and we see that he wasn't able to keep it, as Max Verstappen does end up winning this race. Sergio Perez shows his pace here and his ability to hold his tires out for a very long time. Now talking about Daniel Ricciardo, Pierre Gasly, and Lando Norris, those three are very tight together. In fact, they were pretty close, pretty darn close, and they did a good job with their tires. Daniel Ricciardo undercut. In his box message, you could hear we're trying to undercut to get ahead of Gasly, and in fact, he did. He got ahead of, I believe, the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz and Gasly. He was able to move up. Talking about the old world champion, Fernando Alonso, we did see him struggle with some pace here at a circuit that I know he's got to be familiar with, but he was able to be outbraked by the Honey Badger and overtaken by some new guys. You see him overtaken by Gasly and Norris. Very nice craft by those two McLaren drivers. I really enjoy watching them race at the French Grand Prix and every Grand Prix. They're always very interesting to watch. But here, we're going to be going down the list now from the back. Nikita Mazepin ended his race in 20th place. Mick Schumacher just ahead of him. Nicholas Latifi in 18th. Kimi in 17th. Charles Leclerc fell a little bit behind. I wouldn't say lack of pace, because obviously these guys are fast, as we have seen, but he wasn't up to the up to the standard that everyone else was at this time. Antonio Giovinazzi in 15th place. Esteban Ocon in 14th. Yuki 13th. Russell doing very nicely, only 2 places out from the points, and in fact he was ahead of a Renault, ahead of a Ferrari, and ahead of AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda. Yuki, I have to give props to him. He was making his way from the back, and he did a very nice job. I think he's starting to get some pace, and he's starting to get comfortable in his seat, which I really do like to see. Carlos Sainz, as I said, was in 11th place. Now we see both Aston Martins make it into the points this race. Not a rare occasion, but it was very fun to see them. Lance Stroll in 10th and Sebastian Vettel in 9th place. Fernando Alonso, as I said, was lacking the youngness, maybe. Maybe it was the youth to keep up with these guys, but he was in 8th place. Pierre Gasly in 7th, Daniel Ricciardo in 6th, Lando Norris in 5th, Valtteri Bottas in 4th, Sergio Perez in 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 2nd, and Max Verstappen getting the fastest lap of the race and winning it. Being on top, Max, I have to give it to you. Very nicely done. We knew it was going to come at some point, that your time was you were going to shine at some point, and this might be the year. I'm not going to jinx anything, not going to talk too much about it, but he did a very nice job, and I'm happy to see him being very successful here in that. But he was leading the Drivers' Championship at that time. The points obviously aren't right because I'm not trying to travel back in time and figure out what they were, but he did get the lead over Lewis Hamilton, and that's how it has been. Very nicely done from him, and we'll see how it pans out. Next time we're going to be talking about the Styrian Grand Prix in Stenmark. It's basically the Austrian Grand Prix, but not Austrian. That's basically what it is, because I don't know why it's called Styria. Not sure, but I'll figure that out for you guys tomorrow, for sure. I'll figure that out, and I'll give you guys a little bit of fun facts there. But I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, leave a like on the video, consider subscribing, and let's hope Max can bring it home this year. We never know. If you guys watch soccer, England wasn't able to bring it home. Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign that someone else is going to bring it home. Maybe not an Englishman. I don't know. But until next time, guys, peace.